Hello and welcome to a new video of DigiBrains. My name is Fabian. Today we are going to talk about the tsconfig file. You will learn what the tsconfig file is for, how to use it, and what are the different options of the tsconfig file. Let's get directly into it. We're going to create a new folder. And we call this folder just TypeScript test. And we go into this folder. The console. So after doing this, the first thing is what we are going to do is to install TypeScript. And to install TypeScript, we first need this typical package JSON. And to create the package JSON, we just run the command npm init, which is for Node Package Manager. So if you don't have the Node Package Manager, so npm or Node installed yet, you have to install it first. And for this, just go to the Node page and follow the instructions. So after we run npm init, we get like different options here, and it's just a process through the generation of the TypeScript of the package JSON file. But we just use the default values here, so we just press enter until everything is done. So this is okay. Yes, it is okay. After opening the project, we see that we have this package JSON file now here, but it's empty. So there's just the default values which we just inserted. There's nothing else, nothing special. And yeah, to use TypeScript, we are going to have to install the TypeScript package from npm. So we are saying npm install in our console. And we want to install TypeScript. Oh gosh, my script say that. And we're also installing it in the type. Yeah. Well, now it's working. We're installing it at the dependencies. So we have this TypeScript now here. Well, pretty good so far. But if we have a look in our project, well, we don't see that much yet. We have this package JSON, we have the Node modules, which just installed the TypeScript. But there's not that much else. And to test if everything is like working, or little bit working as expected, we're going to create a new folder, which we call source. And inside the source folder, we just create another file, which is some kind of a TypeScript file. We just call it greeting.ts. And here we're going to write a function, which we call greeting. And GitHub Copilot is already proposing something, so we just accept it yet. But we want to make it a little bit more flexible. Therefore, we're going to create an interface, which is a person. And this person has first name and last name. It's true so far. And here we just get the person as a type. And what we're going to make is hello. We just say call person.first name and then person.last name. Okay, great. So this looks like TypeScript. So we have an interface here. We have a person which has a type. And then we just call the properties. And of course, we need a return type here, because we're using TypeScript, we want to stay clean. But this looks pretty good so far. And yes, then we're going to start running the TypeScript compiler. And now we see if we run TypeScript compiler that like the console is blown with a lot of different things. It looks like that did not happen, it did not work. And it just suggests just different options which we can do. And yeah, one important line for us is maybe because what we use is just TSC, and TSC means, okay, we run the TypeScript compiler. And when we read this here, it says, okay, it compiles the current project, with the tsconfig.json, which is in the working directory. So this is the working directory, but we don't have a tsconfig.json yet. And therefore, it does not really know how to handle like the tsconfig files or where is the tsconfig file? It does not know that. To improve like our solution, first thing what we're going to do is we just say, okay, you don't know the tsconfig file, but we know where it is. Therefore, look into like the source folder and then greeting.ts. This is what we want to compile. So after running this command again, we will see that nothing we have to save here. And we run it one more time. And then we will see that we have like this greeting function here. So this was the original one. This is the new one. So we already see it looks pretty much like JavaScript. Well, we have just this person here. There's no type, there's no return type of the function. It's just plain JavaScript. But now, what we're going to see here is that, well, we have on TypeScript error, with error here, which says that there's a duplicate function implementation. Well, it's true, because we have this greeting.js file, which is like the same. So we have two functions, which both are the same, and therefore we get this error. Well, it's pretty bad. And to improve this, we're going to create a tsconfig.json file in the root folder. And inside this tsconfig file, so we have a JSON file here. It's obviously JSON. No, I'm going to save it. Probably I forgot to save one more time after this. However, what we're going to do now is that we have different options here. If we ask the IDE, so it says, okay, with like build options, you can compile and save, and so on, different things with exclude and include, which is probably the most important ones: include, exclude, and the compile options here, the compiler options. So the first thing we're going to use is this include, because we want to include different files. So what files are we going to include? Well, GitHub Copilot already knows that, obviously, and so we just accept the solution here. Because we want to include all files which are in the source folder. We don't care if it's in the root of the source, directly inside it, or if it's in a nested directory. We just want to use everything in the source folder. And we only want those files which have the ending of TypeScript. So for example, if you're using React, for example, then you probably have TypeScript and TSX. And well, for Vue.js, you probably Vue and so on. So you have like different type endings. And for our case, we just want to have the TypeScript file at the moment. And then we save. And what we do next is that we are removing, or we're deleting here this greeting JSON file, JavaScript file, clear the console, and we run the tsc one more time, but without the parameter we just set. And what we see now is that the compiler knows where to look for the TypeScript files, and it compiles it into JavaScript. So pretty good. So we delete it one more time. Another thing which is great, so I generated one more time, is that the error which we had is gone. Because now we include only the TypeScript files into this compiling and not the JavaScript files anymore. And therefore this error is gone. But one problem which we still have is that the greeting.js file and the JavaScript, the TypeScript file, they're both in the same folder. And this is pretty awkward because we don't want to have, like, we want to separate it. So we have one folder where like the JavaScript files are, the compiled files are, and there's another folder where the source files are. And therefore we're going to delete this one here one more time. And we're going to have a look into the tsconfig file, and we're creating a new property here, which is compiler options. And inside the compiler options, we have again different options to set a lot of things which we can do. And what we're going to need here is the out directory. And the out directory is a new folder which we're going to create here is the dist folder, which is a very typical folder. It stands for distribution, so it's just a shorthand for distribution. So everything which we want to ship like somewhere. And so we're saving this here, and if we run tsc command one more time, then you will see that the JavaScript file is not generated in the source file anymore, it's generated in the dist file. Everything else is pretty much the same. So we have a lot of other options here. For example, one option which is pretty cool is the source map feature, so that we can see, if we like debug our code, that we see the original files and not only the compiled JavaScript files. So if we run this one more time, but I will open the greeting.js because it's pretty interesting. What's happening here is that we're getting a new entry here, which is like some kind of a reference to the JavaScript map here. And inside this JS map, we see we have this file name and so on, but we have this source root here, or the source of this whole thing here, which is the greeting.js file. And it's pretty cool. So it like maps the JavaScript file to the original TypeScript file, and therefore it's much easier to debug the whole thing. Okay, well, I think there's one more entry which we can make here. It's not absolutely necessary, but GitHub Copilot already suggested to exclude the node modules. And another thing which is most of the time excluded are the spec files. So if you have like any test files, it does not necessarily have to end on spec.ts, but maybe it's test.ts or something else. But you have to exclude this because you don't want to compile them in like the base tsconfig file. Maybe for spec files you will have some kind of a special tsconfig file, which is often called tsconfig.spec.ts. And yes, this was a short introduction about tsconfig file. I hope you enjoyed it.